Shout out to our sponsor, Hubble. Are you tired of overpaying for uncomfortable contact lenses? With Hubble, you can wear fresh contacts every day for $30 a month. Plus, you can get 2 weeks of free contacts when you visit hubblecontacts.com. Welcome to the Know, I'm Ashley Jenkins. Last week, it was discovered that CD Projekt pulled the same trademark shenanigans seen in the past by King and Sony by trying to nab the trademark for the word cyberpunk in video gaming. And now it looks like they've got it, at least in the EU. The trademark status for CD Projekt's filing for the word cyberpunk has now been updated in the EU to registered, which means it fully belongs to them. The status of their trademark in the US is still unsettled. They hold the trademark for cyberpunk in a number of other categories in the US thanks to buying the rights to the Cyberpunk 2020 franchise from Telsorian Games back in 2012 and have since applied for that trademark to extend to video games as well. So, good luck out there to all the developers who really wanted to put the word cyberpunk in their video game title. You just got candy crushed. Last year, Xbox boss Phil Spencer made some headlines when he started talking about the possibility of Microsoft heading towards a future console that could be upgraded incrementally like a PC. Spencer later clarified those comments, but the idea definitely stuck with some gamers who don't want to buy a new console every few years, especially now that mid-generation refreshes are a regular thing. But now, Spencer has squashed those ideas altogether. When asked on Twitter about whether or not Microsoft might still pursue an upgradable console in the future, Spencer shot that down pretty quickly, writing, "The idea that users will open up a console and change compute components inside seems like a stretch to me." As for Xbox's next console, it looks like the reports about Scorpio getting revealed this week are absolutely true. Eurogamer confirmed all the rumors in a tweet this morning, saying the Scorpio will be revealed by Digital Foundry on Thursday at 2 p.m. in the UK or 6 a.m. Pacific time. We will, of course, keep you up to date on all the details revealed in that story. Probably not going to include upgradability. Although, you know what I do recall is with some models of the Xbox 360, there was a little panel on the side. You could open it up, you could take out a hard drive and put in like a new hard drive. Maybe that's the future. It's just like lots of panels in the sides of your console and you'd be like, look, graphics card, put a nice new one in. Or potentially not, because I can also still see that being messy. Now, congratulations to be! Nier Automata might be the niche kind of game, but it's not doing niche sales. Square Enix just announced a new milestone for the game this morning, which has just passed more than 1 million units shipped physically and sold digitally in just over a month. That's pretty great news for both Square Enix and Platinum Games. Nier Automata is one of this year's most surprising games. It hit late February to critical acclaim, sporting an 89 on Metacritic for its refreshing take on an open-world action title, and gratuitous upskirt butt shots. That's worth at least 10 points on Metacritic and in our hearts. Nintendo took a welcome open-world detour with Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and it sounds like that's going to continue to be the case in all future games in the series, or at least all the mainline console games. In a new interview with Famitsu, Breath of the Wild producer Eiji Aonuma said that open-world Zelda games are now going to be the franchise standard. That's certainly welcome news for fans of Breath of the Wild, of which there are many, but it's been a major hit for Nintendo since its release early last month. It'll be interesting to see how they plan on further tweaking the formula for the next Zelda game, which honestly, we probably shouldn't be expecting to play until at least 2022, plus a delay or two, unless they do a really cool, I think we're all hoping for a Majora's Mask type thing where they can reuse some Breath of the Wild assets and do something like crazy and experimental. Please, 2022 sounds so far away. Now, For Honors hit something of, well, I guess you could call it a rough patch over the last month. It's lost half its players, it landed in the middle of a microtransaction controversy, and its fans organized a huge blackout against playing it. And now, even For Honor's reviews have turned against them. It looks like the last month has totally caught up to the game on Steam, where reviews have plummeted. For Honor now sits with a mostly negative rating on the platform, where only 37% of the 3,700 reviews written in the last 30 days are positive. It's a pretty low place for Ubisoft within 2 months of For Honor's release, although the company has said they plan on addressing the community's concerns. They've done some pretty solid damage control on games like Rainbow Six Siege in the past, so we'll see if they can replicate that same success here, but pretty steep climb ahead. Oh yeah, also, remember that game Steep? Whatever happened to that? Get ready, Overwatch fans! Blizzard is teasing something big coming to the game in the next week. In a new tweet, the company promised an April 11th reveal for new content, and on top of that, Blizzard employees are starting up the hype train themselves. Overwatch lead character artist Renaud Galland said on Facebook that the new update is one of the best things they've worked on since launch. It's unclear just what, or maybe who, Overwatch is hinting at for next week, but speculation ranges from a new event to a new game type. And let's get real, there will probably be an awful lot of really cool skins for you too. The designer behind games like Fable, Populous, and Black and White, still one of my favorite games, is working on a new game, but he's not saying much about it this time, for once. Peter Molyneux talked to Glixel, sort of, about the upcoming game, which is called Legacy. It's pretty clear that he's learned a thing or two from devs like Sean Murray, who got burned for overhyping games, also perhaps his own history. Of course, Molyneux he's been accused of an awful lot of overhyping himself in the past. His crowdfunding game, Goddess, was criticized for failing to deliver on its promises. Before that was Fable, and before that was, well, you can trace the line back. Regardless, Molyneux said of his upcoming game, "The only thing I think is wise to tell you is that it is very different. One of the things I'm proud of is the number of different genres that I've attempted. At the moment, it's hard to peg what genre Legacy falls into." Well, that's vague. At least he didn't promise us the world this time. Jak and Daxter fans, rejoice! Sort of. All 4 of this series' games are coming to PlayStation 4 later this year, so we can all play them again. We don't know exactly when yet, but according to PlayStation's blog, Jak and Daxter, the precursor Legacy, Jak 2, Jak 3, and Jak X Combat Racing will be coming to the PS4 as PS2 classics. This is the first time that Jak X has been re-released since it came out for the PS2 in 2005. Sony didn't announce any sort of pricing, but as Polygon pointed out, most PS2 Classics titles cost in the range of $9.99 to $14.99, so hopefully somewhere in there. The reviews of Ukulele are starting to trickle in, and they're pretty all over the place. It currently has a 67 score on Metacritic, with some calling it a really good platformer and others calling it kinda outdated. WCCF Tech said the game might not be as good as your vague memories of the hallowed games are rare, but Ukulele has a little bit of that old lovable magic in it. But Games Radar, not as big of a fan. They wrote, evoking the essence of late 90s platforming without significantly modernizing it, Ukulele is a game with noble aspirations grounded by clumsily flawed execution. Ouch. You might remember the platformer raised more than $3 million on Kickstarter and was hyped as a spiritual successor to Rare's Banjo-Kazooie series. You'll be able to decide for yourself how good it really is pretty soon. The game launches on pretty much every platform on April 11th. Now this just in, animal rights group PETA has a huge hard-on about a video game that lets you pretend to milk fake cows. We're all super surprised. Won't someone think of the fake cows? Cue Sarah McLachlan music. Yes, PETA President Ingrid Newkirk says that the cow milking game in 1-2 Switch has taken all the cruelty out of milking. She argues the game ignores all the problems with large-scale modern ranching, which includes taking cows away from their mothers soon after birth and artificial insemination of cows, which PETA compares to rape, which both sound like pretty terrible 1-2 Switch games. At any rate, this is hardly the first time PETA's had a problem with pretend creatures. It called Pokemon basically animal cruelty and came out with a parody of Super Meat Boy, which it also hated. Not surprisingly, Nintendo has not responded. Now, Google says they've come up with the perfect solution to fighting hate speech ads on YouTube. Are you ready for this? Artificial intelligence. Now, you might remember that Google has been facing an awful lot of criticism about advertisements showing up on videos that promote hate or violence or racism, or that are about mature themes or what have you. A bunch of companies have pulled their spending, but most recently, the consumer product behemoth Johnson & Johnson. And all that's definitely gotten Google's attention, and its chief business officer, Philip Schindler, told Bloomberg News that Google has since improved its ability to flag offending videos and to disable ads. And since that boycott by advertisers began, Google's allocated more of its artificial intelligence tools to decipher YouTube's enormous video library. Using the new tools, and more people, the company in the last 2 weeks flagged 5 times as many videos as unsafe than before. So we'll see if these new robots can help Google it's kind of sad that someone had to teach them racial slurs to do their job. Those robots are probably very, very confused right now. And also, they're not perfect yet because we're also seeing a lot of reports from people saying that their videos were magically demonetized for no reasons that they can tell. So, buckle up, it's gonna be a bumpy ride probably. But at the end, maybe we get super smart robots that can swear at you very creatively. Alright, that's all the news we have for you guys today. Let us know what you think of all the stories in the comments down below. To make sure you get news from every corner of the internet every day, like this video. And if you haven't been here before, but you want to stick around, subscribe to the Know. Thanks to Hubble for sponsoring this update. Like, if you wear contacts, you understand they can be expensive, they can be uncomfortable, they can be generally kind of a pain, especially when you need to get more. I actually just wore glasses for a really long time because I couldn't be hassled going and finding my prescription and then you know, going to a store and ordering them and then waiting for them all to come in. It was a long time. Hubble actually sells directly to you though, so they can offer contacts for half the price, so you can afford fresh contacts every day without breaking the bank. You don't have to keep trying to make disposable contacts work over and over and over. Plus, they can send you to an optometrist if you don't already have a prescription or if you don't know your prescription. If you want to give it a try, you can get 15 pairs of lenses for free and yeah, come on, free's hard to beat. To get it, just go to hubblecontacts.com.